No,
No? Why you're not in?
I lost it.
How? Okay, let's just go back again. Okay, okay, you're good, you're good. You're good. You're good. Oh man, you need to move this. This is not
Carmen.
right.
Hi, Carmen.
Oh,
We hear
hi,
you.
I cannot see. So sorry.
No, that's okay.
Oh, no.
I just didn't want you to talk about me or something.
Oh, thank you. So let's find this. What happened? Oh, here, I think that's the Zoom. There it is. I'm sorry.
Hey, Jeremy. Hope you're doing well. Hi, Sean. Good to see y'all. So those of you that are already here, it's 7:01, but I just wanted to make an announcement that the Buddhism in a Nutshell class, if you are planning to continue that, which starts next Tuesday and will run for 5 weeks, it's going to be offered online only. So the teacher that will be teaching it, David's wife, has some family, complications that, maybe not would allow her to be here in person. So join us on Zoom for that or YouTube for Buddhism in a Nutshell coming up next week, okay?
On here. There we go. Does that work? Yep, it does. All right. There I am. That's weird. How's everybody doing? We had 2 weeks to practice every day. I hope everybody had an opportunity to. Maybe just a little bit, a few minutes. Good. All right. Well, we will just start out with a little meditation like we normally do, just to kind of calm our mind, maybe set our motivation a little bit. So if you want to get yourself comfortable, back straight, head up, chin down, shoulders relaxed, hands resting in your lap, and your eyes closed or a little bit open if you need to. Take a few big breaths in and out. And just watch your breathing. Let your mind settle. And hopefully you've gotten into the habit of developing some motivation for doing your meditations. So if you want to set your motivation, make it as altruistic as possible. Maybe look back and see how it's made you feel a little better. It's benefiting you. And consequently, it's going to benefit everybody else around you. Just as we go into the holidays too, a lot of stress, maybe a lot of family drama. You're just going to bring that peace of mind, if you can, to that environment. Maybe you can become a wiser and kinder person and benefit everybody else. Then you can do whatever meditation feels right for you. Counting your breath, just being aware of your breath. Maybe mind like an ocean, like sky. I'm going to go ahead and lead us in the very first meditation of the night, too. So focus your attention on your breath, but just breathe normally and naturally. Focus on the complete duration of each inhalation and exhalation. And as you exhale, imagine that all your negative energy, past mistakes, distorted conceptions, disturbed emotions, they just leave your body with the breath. You can visualize all this negative energy as black smoke or soot. And as you exhale, it goes out into space and it disappears completely. Visualize that repeatedly with each breath out, that all these negativities again and again are leaving. And feel confident that you're gradually freeing yourself from all traces of negativities, faults, sickness, or delusion. As you inhale, imagine all the positive energy in the universe enters your body with the breath in the form of pure, radiant light. You can visualize this light flowing through your nostrils, down into your body, to every part and corner of your body, pervading every cell, every organ. Your body gradually becomes clearer and clearer, lighter and lighter, and more transparent. You can feel more relaxed, light, blissful, I guess. And visualize this continuously again and again. So concentrate on the experience of breathing out this smoke of your problems, illnesses, negative energies, and breathing in the light of purifying, blissful, good energy. And we'll continue to do that for the rest of the meditation session. And like always, if you're distracted by something, a thought, feeling, sensation, just simply observe it, let it go without getting involved. Imagine that too becomes that smoke. Breathe that out into oblivion. If your mind has wandered off, just gently bring it back to the breath. Light going in, smoke going out. Bring your mind back to the breath. All right. Anybody have any thoughts on that type of meditation? The visualization that we've done something like that before, I think. Okay. Do you have trouble staying focused on the visualizations? Or is it easy? Okay. There you go. It's easier than counting your breath. Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. That's good. And breathing in the good stuff. And there's some reverse meditations too. We won't talk about Tonglen. Sometimes we introduce that where you breathe in other people's problems and let them kind of dissolve at your heart and destroy your self-centered mind, and you breathe out benefit to them. And that's good if people are sick or have something going on, some trauma or something, that is real helpful too. So Any other thoughts? How'd the last couple of weeks go? Everybody get a few minutes every day? Is it starting to feel like a habit? All right. Something that you'll continue on, and we hope. We hope. Yeah. Okay. Had you had a regular practice set up before? You said, yeah. Okay. Okay. Tune up. Okay. Oh, good. All right. Yeah. Just sit. You know, and that's hard to do. You know, we'll do that with exercise, but for some reason, this feels like I've got things to do. I've got to get up. I got things to do. You know, I don't want to say a waste of time, but it feels like you're just, you know, we're not used to just sitting and doing nothing, but it really is work. I mean, it really is work. We've got things to do internally. We actually got more to do internally than we do externally. So, any other thoughts? You having any problems with it, or difficulties, or challenges? There was 2 days where I just forgot. Forgot, okay. Yeah, we want everybody to hear it. Oh, yeah. When did you remember?
Later that night.
Okay. To go back and do it then? Did you just wait till the next morning?
I waited till the next morning.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes that'll happen. As you get further along, if you start to do some of the other practices and you develop some, you get some empowerment or things like that, then you start to make commitments, and that makes it a little easier for you to kind of get into it. But just the habit of meditation is that you just have to kind of set up. Yes, sir.
And then I got into the good habit of finding like waking up at the same time and, you know, making a priority of it in the morning. But then to help maybe like change things up, or I could tell like if one day I didn't have a great session, started using like the app like Insight Timer so that I could get some type of like guided meditation.
Okay.
Was also helpful.
That's good. Yeah, the guided meditations on some of those programs are really helpful. They really are. So, other challenges, or maybe interesting observations? Have you seen progression in 2 weeks? A little bit? Yeah, it's kind of a slow process, you know.
And
Really?
be sure if you're on Zoom or YouTube, you can also contribute. If you're on Zoom, just do the little raise your hand. If you're on YouTube, put it in the chat and I'll relay it. If you're in here, just raise your hand. We'll try to get the microphone around so that folks online can hear as well. We're one big class.
That's right. That's right.
One night for about, I don't know, maybe it was a whole 3 seconds. It felt like I had this aha moment of this is what it should feel like. This is what it should be like. But it was very short-lived.
Oh, that's good though. Yeah, short-lived is great. Good starting point. Yeah. Because it's just all stuff moving around us, right? That we just create these stories about all the time, just constantly. All of our interactions, contacts with things externally, you know, we kind of get the whole narrative going. And it's hard to let go of that narrative, the story of me, right? As we write that and play it back.
I had a similar experience where it was like I felt like I was kind of where I what I was wanting to get out of it was like happening, and then I could tell like I was grabbing at it, and then I was like, oh yeah, then it went away.
Yeah,
As
you
soon as
can't-
I noticed it, it went away.
Yeah. No, you can't grab it. It'll come back, but you can't, you have to, it's not a grabbing at, it's a letting go of that actually brings it about. That's what's so challenging sometimes. You know, the teachings or what we're taught is that we all have this Buddha nature that's just buried with junk. You know, there's dirt and all sorts of stuff piled on top of it. And so the process is uncovering all that stuff, digging it all out, you know. Yeah, and that's a process that we're not necessarily accustomed to, you know. The observing, the clear light, knowing, and cognition, awareness, I guess, of our mind in that natural state is the natural state. And it's a very good feeling, but then we just pile stuff on it, you know, grabbing at things and whatnot. So, all right. So we've done some just concentration meditation. You know, we kind of look at the different tools in your tool bag. Some concentration meditation, the mindfulness, which is where we just kind of expand that awareness, right? Very similar, but just an expanded awareness. And then these type of like visualization meditations, and then the analytical meditation. I'm never quite sure where the visualization falls in. I think it's an analytical, but I'm not 100% sure, you know. But the analytical being the dirty water that we did 2 weeks ago. So we'll do a couple more of those tonight. We can do one right now if you want to. Let me pull this guy out. Oh, another visualization first. I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead. So we'll do this one first, and then we'll do the other analytical. All right, so get yourself comfortable, back straight. You know the position. You know the routine. And then just watch your breath. This visualization, you'll have to use your imagination pretty good too. So we'll see how far you can take it. But like always, once you've got your mind settled, kind of set your motivation for this meditation. And then just allow your mind to rest on your breath. And when I say visualize something, we're really kind of imagining it. So if you can visualize in the space above your head a ball or a sphere of white light, pure, transparent, formless, maybe about the size of your head, maybe a little smaller. Just spend a couple of minutes concentrating on the presence of the light. Don't worry if it's not very sharp, just enough to feel that it's there. Just kind of visualize it floating up there above your head. Think about the fact that that sphere of light represents all universal goodness, love, wisdom, and the fulfillment of your highest potential. All kind of in that ball of light above your head. Try to hold on to that image for a little bit. Then imagine or visualize that it is getting smaller. It decreases in size. And as it gets smaller, it gets brighter. So it gets down to a small, bright sphere, about an inch or so in diameter. Like it's concentrated. And imagine this small ball of pure light descending through the top of your head and settling at your heart. From there it begins to expand again. Growing inside and kind of filling your body. And as it fills your body, all the solid parts of your body become dissolved and become light. At some point, the ball expands until it's bigger than you and you're sitting in it, just completely surrounded by that light. Again, representing all the goodness, love, wisdom. Now allow the ball to slowly expand and encompass everything around you, including everybody in the room. You can let it grow even bigger until it encompasses the whole building and everything within it. And as you sit in the center of it, think that all your problems, negativities, hindrances have completely vanished. You reach this state of wholeness and perfection. You feel serene and joyful. If any thought or distracting object enters your mind, just let it dissolve into the light. You can choose to stay like that, or you can allow that sphere of light to grow even more. Imagine it's encompassing the whole neighborhood. You can let it grow as big as you want. You can imagine that it maybe encompasses PNC Center and the fairgrounds and everybody in it. Maybe all of Raleigh. Central North Carolina, all of North Carolina. Some people are able to allow it to expand to encompass all the United States or the whole globe and further, whatever you're comfortable with. And again, think that all your problems, negativities, and hindrances have completely vanished. And you've just reached a state of wholeness, perfection, serenity, and joy. If your mind drifts off onto a thought, or problem, or an issue, just let it go. Let it get dissolved in the light. All right. Thoughts about that one? Were you able to hold that sphere around you? How big were you allowed? Were you able to get it to grow? Great big. Good. Good. Any other thoughts?
I wasn't able to get it all that, as it was getting bigger, like when we started getting it, including others in the room and larger than that, I was right on board with all of us just experiencing this ball of light and love and peace together, and it got bigger and more people came into the ball of light and love and peace. And then as it got bigger and bigger, I kept, this is hard. Has anyone read the Chronicles of Narnia, the C.S. Lewis? In the very last book, the last battle, like at the end, they end up, I think, going into like this hut, and sort of the heroes are, it's all love and light all around them. The bad guys, sort of what they're experiencing is something very different.
Okay.
And it's negative. And I just couldn't expand. I could include all of the people on earth in my ball of light, but I couldn't imagine all of them joining us in peace and love.
Okay.
I couldn't transcend the fact that there were
Bad guys.
there were some people that were just not going to experience that
Yeah.
along with us.
Okay. That's great. No, I don't mean it's great, but I mean, no.
A lot going on in my head.
Yeah, no, but I mean, that you're able to, here's the thing, you're able to discern when it stopped working for you. Okay. And that's great, because you want to make sure that it's working for you. All right. And as you'll do we'll do one here on equanimity. And as you begin to doing meditations that include the bad guys, were you here when I told the story about the guy who came into the Brugger's place that was real nasty to everybody? So you'll maybe begin to feel some compassion for people that can't feel this way and can't let go of things and are just grabbing onto everything around them. And as you practice this, your heart begins to kind of soften for the bad guys, because you know it's worse on the inside than it is on the outside for them, right?
I think I felt that. It was more just like disappointment that we weren't all.
Okay. Well, work on it. Yeah, but that's it. So you just kind of keep pushing a little bit, and you maybe set some of this aside and do something else that maybe helps you develop a different sense for those folks that could be inclusive. We have a practice that we do. We do these Vajrasattva mantras at night, but when you set it up, you're supposed to set up that, we're all sitting in a room with Buddhas up in front and whatnot, and your family's next to you, your friends are behind you, and all the people you don't like are in front of you, but they're all there at the concert together, and so I always struggle with that a little bit, because I line all these little folks up in front of me that I think, oh, they shouldn't be here. But slowly, it makes sense for them. All right, they're part of this whole story too, They're trying, they're not doing a very good job, They're messing a lot of things up in a way, but they want the happiness too. They want that serenity and peace and everything. They just don't know how to go about getting it. So it's one of those things that the more you kind of practice these things, the easier that'll come. And that's, I think, is the real value to doing a lot of these meditations, because you slowly begin to kind of transform your perspective and consequently how you interact with the world around you. And that's priceless. That really is, I think. So thank you for sharing that. I didn't mean to get off on a tangent there, but.
David, there's Sean or Jeremy, did y'all want to share something or ask a question?
Oh yeah, I had a similar experience of the light moving out, except for when it got to one neighbor's house. It started to move around this person. A lot of stories about this person, and what was coming to me was that the light is just shining out. Like you said, there's just something on top of it. So it was a trailhead to notice there's something here I'm keeping it from moving towards, but it just naturally wants to move in all these directions. But I started to notice where I was kind of holding it back, and what was it? And it was the story about that person. But I started to soften, and I could feel it like, oh, actually, I'm trying here, efforting to keep this from happening when it wants to naturally just move. And it started to flow when I stepped back and just let it kind of move through me. So I liked how it was coming through, down and through. It resonated. So I really
Good. I'm glad to hear that, because these type of visualizations don't always work for everybody. You know, some people, they work real well, and for some people, they don't work so well. And I struggled with a lot of them at the beginning. But, you know, like everything else, there's something there that you can play with, and there's something there that you can work with. It gives you, you know, this part, there's kind of a saying, this, you know, we think this is the practice, but the real practice is when we go out there and have to interact with people that are creating these disturbances for us. And if we slowly begin to kind of sand away at that, right, and we start to soften a little bit, then that's where the real practice is. That's the real value to doing these meditations. You know, anybody can sit on a cushion, but the real teachers are out there in the real world, you know, and the ones that give us opportunity. So that's good. Thank you for sharing that. That's good.
I kind
Please,
of
Lisa.
lost the whole global thing, and came back to just the light around me, and just started pinging it to people. Like,
There you go.
oh, you need some white light. That person needs some white light, and I just kind of pinging it out to
Just
people.
knock
And
little
that,
pieces.
I was able to
Okay, good.
resonate with that.
All right. Yeah, if that works, that's good. That's good. And actually, this meditation is in the handouts, the Body of Light, and I've kind of taken some creative liberties with it a little bit. It's supposed to end with your body, and I had read another meditation some years back where you let the ball expand, so I just kind of threw that part in. But so I said, stop wherever you're comfortable, you know, but you find your comfort area. And some people are good with just me, my family, just kind of the immediate. But, you know, if you let it grow a little bit more, it's not a bad thing. And you get to run into these obstacles that you may bump into. So good. Thank you.
I'll share something real quick.
Please.
At the beginning, when we had the small ball, you know, the smaller ball of light that we started with, and then that shrunk to just a little, you know, 1-inch sphere. At that point, I was like envisioning all of us here in this Gampa, and all of you had the light above your head as well. But then when you started expanding it out, you know, it was just like a bigger, you know, all encompassing.
Okay.
And I was able to expand it, but, you know, I don't know, maybe I wasn't listening completely, but instead of, you know, bringing those people in for love and things like that. It was just a big, huge enveloping everything of pure white light energy.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, so anyway.
Did it get beyond?
Oh yeah, it was like infinite.
Oh, good. All right.
Yeah. But it was interesting to, that it started like everyone in here had their own little.
Yeah.
And I could, as I was visual, and it's fun, it's nice, because normally if I'm running Zoom, I'm kind of paying attention to Zoom. But I was just like, nobody's going to join at this point.
Yeah, that's right.
It's getting kind of late. And so
do the meditation.
Yeah, so I really allowed myself to do this meditation instead of worrying about Zoom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it was interesting the way it evolved, I guess. Yeah. I guess, yeah.
That I should try that with all of my, the people that are sitting in front of me at that meditation. Try to picture all the little balls above their head too, because they're all working on it, right? It's just like it goes in here and it gets plugged up or something. I don't know. That's my story. They've got a different story, right? That's from my perspective. So.
And it might have been easier because there's just a few of us here in the Gampa. So,
that's true.
I was really, able to visualize each one of you in my head, like, oh, Lisa's sitting there with her blanket and so on.
Yeah, there you go. We all did. So good. Yeah, some of these, like I said, some of them will resonate with you. Trying to remember, what was the one we did last week? We did the visualization too. I can't remember which one it was. Not the water, but there was another one that we just pictured something. Yeah, it'll come back to me at some point. But yeah, so the visualizations, it's a good way. Kind of the 9-round breathing is to some extent, we're visualizing the in goes the good, out goes the bad kind of stuff. So there's a lot of similarity. So these things are also good to just kind of, if your mind's distracted before you do your meditation, or just start it out with something like that, and then maybe do some, try to settle your mind on the breath or whatever. So kind of combine those together. Or do, we touched on the using the dirty water, our precious human existence here, and do something like that to help kind of develop some empathy, compassion, and gratitude. So those are just internal muscles that we're trying to strengthen. So yes, sir.
Yeah, I watched it was a video on kind of like setting your motivation in the interactions that you have throughout the day. So if you're meeting with somebody, like kind of like say it to yourself, like, I wish you the greatest good, and setting a motivation for your interactions. So like when I was like expanding it to other people that was here, my family, and then like at work, it was almost like visualizing like me setting that intention of like they're being enveloped in this love and this wisdom, but it's also like putting together that greatest good that you want everybody to have. Nice. Anyway, so it just kind of put that into a visualization.
Yeah, nice. And you could do these at work. You don't want to, sit there in the middle of whatever, but find some way to look like you're doing something and do a meditation for a little bit, I used to do a visualization way back in the years when I was helping people with some stress management things at work. And I'd say, imagine you're on an elevator, you walk out in the hall, you get on the elevator, you go to the ground floor and it opens up, and you're either at the beach or your mountains or someplace that you really want to be, and walk out there and just sit for 2 or 3 minutes and then get back on the elevator and go back to work. It's just a visualization like that too. So there's no reason why you shouldn't do those kind of things. And if we get in the habit of doing them throughout the day at specific times or at certain times, then we can kind of allow this to grow. ideally, at some point, I don't know, life is just what takes place between your meditations. You know, your normal running around activities and everything, you know, so that's a hard switch, but it sounds like it would be a good thing to do. So that would be a personal goal anyway. So, anything else? Again, the idea of all of this, all of the meditation, you know, we kind of have this general feeling, especially now in society, that it's supposed to help us be relaxed all the time, but it's not really. It's to just develop a more peaceful state of mind all the time, more accepting of things, and that in turn makes us appear and makes us feel more relaxed and lowers our blood pressure. We're trying to just slowly change the way we view the world around us. And instead of it always being, you know, what's in it for me and all the stories we make up about everything else, we can shift that whole narrative and just change our perspective entirely, you know. It's a lot of work, but it's work that's well worth the effort, you know. Your own happiness, that's the bottom line, right? It's just a real deeper sense of happiness. And not just in our need to have materialistic things or seeking sensory pleasure. This is a deeper sense of happiness that we're looking for, kind of a contentment, regardless of our current situation. You know? Because our current situation, we talked about the impermanence before too, right? Everything is changing. So bad things that are happening, I mean, I look back, I play a little mental game sometimes where, all right, if I go back a year ago or a month ago or whatever, what was the thing that was in my mind that was disturbing me at the time? And where is that now, you know? And it's gone or whatever. I've dealt with it. You know, just things go away. So this is an opportunity to just kind of, you know, we sit and practice and watch our thoughts flow, but when we're off the cushion, it's still just flowing. Here they are, we just let go of them, you know, if we can't change it. Shanti Deva, one of the teachers that we study fairly regularly, you know, I said, how was it? I'm gonna mess this one up, but if a bad thing's happening and you can fix it, don't worry about it, just fix it. And if there's a bad thing's happening and you can't fix it, don't worry about it, you can't fix it. You know.
We have Paul or Carmen want to
sorry.
share something, and then Rainey, I'll get to yours in just a second.
I'm not as focused on this screen as I should be. I apologize. Thank you, Linda.
I was just wondering about walking meditation.
Walking meditation?
Yeah, is that something that that you talk about, or what?
I don't. I probably should. There's people here that do talk about it. It is something that's worth probably mentioning. They still do that here? They don't do them anymore?
We do a Sunday morning meditation, but there's no walking.
It used to be,
I do
right?
a guided, yeah.
Okay.
Used to be. I do a guided and then followed by silent meditation on
Okay.
Sundays now.
Were you here when they were doing the walking
Mhm,
meditations? It's just a very slow walking process, isn't it? Go ahead. Why
With
don't
the
you
mind,
describe
yeah,
it?
I mean, it's all about mind. It's kind of like a mindfulness meditation, I would think, because you're walking slowly. You know, you're just focusing on the placement of your feet, and you know, if you want to have a mantra that you're saying in your mind, you can do that too. But I think it's all about just the mindfulness, is my understanding of a walking meditation.
That's my understanding too. I don't do very well with it because slow walking, I would have to walk at my normal pace. And when I do that, I can focus on my walking. But the very slow placement of the foot is like a forced breathing that I would be able to meditate to. But a lot of people really really resonate with that. I wish I could tell you more about it, but it's just a very focused on picking up your foot, putting it down, rolling forward on it, picking up the other foot, putting it down, rolling forward on it. And you just use movement instead of your breath to focus on, is my understanding. I wouldn't be able to help much. I'm sorry, Paul.
And then Rainey on YouTube says, when I close my eyes and try to visualize, I only see black. Even as a kid, I was never able to visualize things. Is this something that I'm going to be able to learn?
Can you imagine it, not visualize it? Maybe that's a better term, is imagine. I've had people say that they cannot imagine things, but I don't know what that is like. I guess I have a very vivid imagination, probably too much so.
Can I just add something?
Please do.
So if you think about, like the Kadampa Center building, like Rainey, you're at home, but you can think about this building and what it looks like. Can you do that? And then, you have friends here like me and Lisa and others. You could probably, even with your eyes open, picture, oh, I can see what Lisa looks like. I can see what Linda looks like, and so on. So maybe that is helpful.
Okay, he's imagining what you just said. So, yeah, I know that people say that, and and it's not something I can imagine. So, but yeah, picturing somebody that picturing their face, that would be very similar to imagining a ball of light above you, or some of the other things that we described, I think. You're asking me questions, they're all stumping me here. That's good. Anything else?
Rainey says, I can imagine, but I don't see things in my mind's eye. When I try to imagine the center, I only see black. Oh, that's interesting.
Can you imagine it with your eyes open, Rainey? Oh, okay. Okay. He'll respond. All right. It's 8:03, and I've got 2 more meditations I want to try to get crammed in here if I can. Not crammed in, but wedged in here before we leave. So, do you have a question? Nope. Okay. All right. So we'll sit in our position, our meditation position. Get yourself comfortable. Now, this is going to be, the last 2 are going to actually be analytical meditations. So, different than the last one, but take some big breaths in and out. And if you're going to set a motivation or an intention, the intention of this meditation is to overcome some of our self-centered bias and judgment and develop a sense of equanimity towards others. And we're going to start out imagining in the space in front of you 3 people. Someone you like, someone you may dislike, and someone to whom you feel indifferent. We're going to keep those images in our mind throughout the meditation, those 3 people. Think about those 3. And we'll label them, for simplicity, friend, enemy, and stranger. So first, I want you to focus your mind on your friend. Allow your feelings for that person to arise strongly. Feel a sense of warmth and feel your conviction that this person is definitely and truly a friend. It's a person who's good to you, will help you out, fulfills needs and wishes. And feel how you really want this person to be happy. And identify yourself with these good feelings. Now shift your attention to the person we've labeled as enemy. This is a person that you dislike. Maybe they're not kind to you. They don't help you, they don't satisfy your needs. They may annoy you. They make you feel angry sometimes. They may have hurt you. And when you think of that person carefully, look at the feelings that you have towards that person. Now finally, I want you to shift your attention to the person that we've labeled stranger. This is a person that you barely know, but you've seen them before perhaps. You neither like nor dislike this person. Look carefully at this person and note your feelings of indifference. Now consider and recognize that the nature of your relationships with each of these 3 people and the labels that we've put on them are based solely on what they do or don't do for us at that point in time, at this point in time. Think of the past of people who have been your friend, but then became your enemy. And people that have been enemies that later became friends. Or strangers who became friends or enemies. Each of the labels is temporary and impermanent. It all depends on what the situation is at the current time. Now move your attention back to your friend and imagine a situation that would cause that friendship to end. Maybe something they do or say, but imagine your friend turning against you. Experience resentment and anger and hurt that you'd feel in this situation. Think if you still feel warm, friendly feelings towards that person. Do you still wish him or her well? Want that person to be happy? Where is your friend now? Remember that this person was not your friend before you were acquainted, and recognize how easily they could cease to be your friend now, just as you've imagined. Now move your attention to the present enemy and imagine a situation in which you could be drawn together and become close, maybe a common interest, a word of kindness or praise. Look at that person and your feelings towards them very carefully. Do they begin to soften your feelings? Do you become warmer? You can learn to feel warmly toward your enemies. It's happened before, it'll happen again. So why do we hold so strongly the concept of this person is an enemy? Now move your attention to the third person, the stranger. Imagine how an act of kindness or anger from this person could immediately turn them into a friend or an enemy. There's no inherent, definite stranger there. And there's no sound reason for the feelings of indifference that we hold on to. You can remember a time when your present friend or your present enemy were both strangers to you beforehand, and how your enemy could become your friend and the other way around. Now think of these three people and think about the fragile impermanence of the relationships. It's only your misconceived belief in the concreteness of these labels, friend, enemy, and stranger, that holds your mind back from possibility of change and fluidity. Friend, enemy, and stranger all want happiness just as much as you do in this respect. So really, we're all equal. And everyone's equal in having potential to develop their minds to the fullest extent and to achieve clarity and compassion. The difference that we see in these people is superficial, based only on our narrow, self-centered view. In fact, everyone is equal in deserving our care and compassion. Now, this doesn't mean that we shouldn't discriminate at all. On a practical level, our ability to distinguish between actions and individuals is sometimes necessary. And naturally, we feel closer to some people, and we're wise to keep distance from others. But that's not contradictory to this meditation. The point is to develop equal concern and equal regard for everyone, for their well-being, whether they help or harm us at this point in time, and to see that the labels we put on others is often arbitrary, mistaken, and interchangeable. How was that meditation? Was it challenging? Yeah. I think most people find it challenging. No, you don't. Okay. Sometimes that's easy to do, you know. Sometimes that's easy to do.
I was still thinking about how Rainey was only
Imagine.
just seeing black. And I was trying to wrap my head around that.
Every time I use the word imagine in this thing, I thought, oh, I don't know, those people who cannot imagine. Yeah, to work on an imagination. Any questions or comments about that? We label things, you know, good, bad, ugly. And those labels change, don't they? Merely imputed. I'm going to try to squeeze in one more meditation, one more analytical one. You all set for that? All right. All right, so get yourself settled in. Doing a lot of meditation tonight. Start watching your breathing. Allow your mind to settle. And then just allow your mind to settle on your breathing. And try to, once you've developed your concentration a little bit, try to relax your focus a little. Develop a little bit more sense of mindfulness. Now imagine you're sitting here in the Gampa or at home, wherever you're sitting. And the door opens up in the back and somebody walks in and it's you 10 or 15 years ago. And imagine that person, that you from the past, sits down in front of you, facing you. And you begin to have a conversation with that person. Would you like that person? And would they like you? What kind of advice might you give them? And what kind of advice might they give you? Now imagine they just move over a little bit and another person walks in the room. This time it's you 10 or 15 years in the future. and they come over and sit down across from you, you and the younger person, what kind of advice might they give you, and what might you tell them? Would they like you, and would you like them? Now the door opens one more time, and there you are at 100 years old. Very slowly walk over with a cane and sit down. What might they tell you, and what would you tell them? Would they like you, and would you like them? All right. Were you able to go through that exercise? Kind of a sombering way to end the class. Any questions or thoughts? There's a lot you can do with analytical meditation. There's a whole lot you can do with it, which is the goal of this whole thing, is to understand reality the best we can. Any parting thoughts, questions, concerns? Oh, got a hand up and a microphone up.
Yeah. Sean or Jeremy, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to express my gratitude for you, David, for doing this. It's been really helpful, and also for Linda coordinating it all, and for everybody who was here. Even though we didn't see you, could hear your voices and I think feel the presence. So I just wanted to say thanks to everybody.
Thank you. Having everybody here and everybody online is what makes this class worthwhile. So thank you very much.
Paul or Carmen, did you want to share something?
Yeah, it's Carmen now. I wanted to say that when I was looking at myself younger and then older, and I was thinking that all the mistakes that I could have avoided if I was a Buddhist earlier, I could actually control my anger, and yeah, and so I regretted a few things that I've done, but then I also had the blessing of, because of my mistakes, especially my divorce, I actually matured and actually found the Dharma. So
There you
So
go.
I came to North Carolina, actually, where I met this wonderful Sangha, all these wonderful, kind people. So if it weren't for my divorce, I would have never left Colorado to go to North Carolina. So then when I thought about my 100-year-old person, I would say, yes, good, you're doing great, keep going,
There
go
you go.
and change your
Yep, yep.
mind,
Yeah.
get more calm and work with your clashes or your emotions and become a better person. And then so you're gonna be good when you're not that old. So my
Yeah,
100-year-old was thanking me, was happy.
yeah, there you go. There's a saying, right? The best time to plant a shade tree was 25 years ago. The second best time is today. So there you
Oh,
go.
great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, I
And
just,
Rose, you had, no,
Same thing, I just want to say thank you for putting
Oh.
everything on, for teaching and AV back there. So yeah, just appreciate, it was a very
Thank you.
fruitful class.
good, good.
and just thanks to everyone who showed up either online or in person. Don't forget that Buddhism in a Nutshell is online only, Zoom or YouTube. So don't come to the Gampa. And if you have the means to do so, Kadampa Center, remember, is run completely by donations. And so all of our classes and events and everything, teachings are all free. So if you're able to make a donation to Kadampa Center, you can go online and hit the donation button up in the top right-hand corner. It's right next to my other favorite button, the calendar button, and do an online donation, or you can send in a check, or if you're here, you can drop cash in the little box outside the Gampa door. We appreciate every little bit, and every little bit helps. And David, thank you so much. This was a wonderful
You're welcome.
course.
Thank you all. And don't forget to dedicate. You put in a lot of hard work over the last however many weeks it's been, 5 kind-ish or whatever. And that's worth a lot. So, seal that deal. You got to set the motivation and afterwards say, this is going to make me a better person. Do the dedication. It's real important. Thank you all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye now.
Bye, folks on YouTube. Bye, folks on Zoom. See you next week, hopefully. Bye, everyone in here.